All right. Looks like we're going. Looks like everything's up and running. Stream number 2. Second stream, Quant Q&A. Working on building an indie RPG. Let's see, I'm pretty sure everything is going smoothly here. It's the second time for everything, you know. Let's see, looks like that's good. Let me see here if everything is running smoothly. Yeah, all right. Oh, all right, we're up. We're ready to go. Let's rock. All right. Let's see here. Chat looking good. I just added an overlay. This is all new to me, the streaming thing here. But it's all right. We're making some progress. We got a chat overlay. We got a subscriber overlay. Looks like we could do a little better. Eventually, we'll style that, make it look nice. But I think everything's running well. I think everything's running well so far. Loving the content. Thanks for everything. You got it, man. You got it. Glad you're enjoying it. What's up, Dylan? What's going on? High school, any advice to break into a hedge fund? Why do you want to get into a hedge fund in the first place, I think would be my question. Keep up the good work. Thanks, dude. I will keep up the good work. Let me show you guys what I'm working on today. I want to do a little bit of a Q&A. I'm going to kind of hit the chat back and forth. Talk to you guys about high finance, quant funds, hedge funds, breaking in. Maybe the financial services industry as a whole, investment banking, so on and so forth, while I work on this project that I am working on here. All right, so let me show you first what I'm working on here, and then we'll just kind of keep going back and forth with the chat, answering your guys' questions, and we'll build out a game. This is actually going to be browser-based, and eventually you guys can connect and hop on with me too, which is pretty sweet. So let me show you what I got so far. I started setting up a very basic client here. So looks like everything's up and running. Gonna head on over to the host here. Check this out. Whoa, look at this. This is pretty sweet. Made that in Gemini. That's a pretty nice landing page right there. Enter the lobby. Got a basic map set up with a grid system. We got, I think this can service more than one client as well. Yeah, sweet. So we're able to connect to the server. It'll serve both clients. Awesome. Sweet. So let's work on building this out a little bit today. I think we can even get into a dungeon and start working on the mobs. Start working on the enemies here. Be pretty sweet. Be pretty sweet. If you guys have questions, feel free to throw them in the chat. If you have suggestions while we work on this guy today, you know, feel free to throw them in the chat, and let's see what we can do. I'd like to work on the actual characters themselves a little bit. Maybe I can get some sprite sheets in here for some animations and such. That'll probably be the first step, and then, you know, we'll go from there. We'll go from there. So let's go on over to Gemini. See if we can start generating a sprite sheet. And I'm just gonna use the landing page here as kind of like the inspiration for the designs for all these sprites. Maybe I'll just start with some basic classes, like kind of like a mage, a warrior, a rogue, and then we'll go from there. Generate a sprite sheet for a mage based on this pixel design for basic movements. Up, down, left, right, etc. All right, let's take a look at some questions here. I'm trying to become a quantitative developer, currently third year in computer science. How to break into quant? How is your leak code is going to be my first question to you. If I gave you a leak code hard, could you solve it? Could you solve it? Create a poly market account and let people bet on your options bets. SPY hits 750, 800 by certain day, and you act as the house. Don't tell the SEC. Don't tell the SEC. Zone here. What do I think about your latest post? I'll have to check. I'll have to check. You've been posting some heat to discourses, man. Appreciate you. Have no experience in leak code. Should you grind driver sheet then grind leak code? What are you trying to code in as a quantitative developer? Are you trying to like do low latency stuff? Like it's a big field. It's a very big field. You trying to do C, C++, Rust? You kind of got to specialize if you're gonna go and be a quant dev. You know. Oh, these look pretty sweet. Oh man, that's pretty cool. Chronomage sprite. Roman, do you think open, high, low, close volume 1 to 15 strategies on futures that a retail trader can execute via Python TradeStation can actually be profitable in a sense of replacing a full-time job? I mean, my man, that's kind of just like, that doesn't offer me any information as to what it is you're trying to do. You're just citing a data source and then asking if the data source can replace a full-time job. It doesn't quite give me any information to work with. You haven't talked about any components of a strategy there. Not for nothing. Let's see how we can implement this sprite sheet here. It looks like we're kind of just doing left, right, up, down, but I kind of want north, south, east, west, and then like kind of the in-betweens as well. What do I think about TikTok LARPers? Quant TikTok LARPers. You know, I've heard of this. I'm not really on the like TikTok in that capacity, so like it's kind of just a little foreign to me. I don't know what they're trying to do, but you know, it's a little weird, I guess. I guess it's trendy. So fair enough. Where do you get qualitative historical data from? What kind of qualitative historical data? News? Text? Could scrape a lot. Could probably scrape a lot of it. It's going to depend on what it is you're trying to do, really. Like what kind of qualitative data? How can you improve your math for quant trading? If only there was a place where you could practice math questions, probability questions, finance questions with gamified rank-based progress. That's Quant Guild, obviously. Quant Guild. Matt Finn OG, I don't know who that is. No clue who that is. All right. So I want to start getting sprite sheets in here. I want to start getting a combat system together too for this guy. So maybe we will start with this. Yeah, that's my carrot farm, man. Building an indie RPG is effectively my carrot farm. Yeah, you got it. That's 100% correct. That's pretty funny. All right, let's see what we can do here. So we're just going to start by adding a basic combat overlay in this dungeon here. And we already have our health, but I also want to add like a bar for energy or mana depending on our character class. And then just a basic, you know, hit system with these hitboxes and so on. Any books to get into quant, either as a quant researcher or quant developer? Yeah, man, there are a lot of books that I would recommend. I did a YouTube video dedicated to that, so I recommend you check that out. But those are two extremely different roles, quantitative researcher or quantitative developer. I strongly encourage you to select and, you know, be deliberate about what role you're targeting, because if you just blanket go for quant dev or quant research, you're going to end up doing both poorly. That's my perspective on it, is just optimize for the intended role rather than just trying to, you know, scatter shot, hit the side of a barn and take whatever role that you can get. You're going to perform better in the role anyway and have better trajectory doing that. What do we think about using linear regression as a model? I think it's that meme. You know that meme where it's like a distribution? It's like this right here. It's like you start and you just want to use linear regression, right? That's what you learn in Stats 101. And then you start learning about machine learning and neural networks. And then you want nothing to do with linear regression. And then eventually you realize that linear regression was the only thing that ever mattered. And you start looking at Fama-Macbeth regressions, time series regressions, and it's all you ever needed. So I think it's pretty funny. That's my thoughts on linear regression there. Good to see you, Roman. Good to see you too, man. Good to see you too. Thanks for hanging out. When do I think I'll be finished with this current project? Who knows, dude? Who knows? But I'm kind of just having a good time making it here. And if I can get you guys to help me play test it, shoot, we could have a lot of fun with this. Let's see. All right, we got a nice energy bar there. Space attacks for 12 mana. Mobs chase and fight back. I don't know if these mobs are really chasing and fighting back. Doesn't quite look like it. Currently a second-year university student. Could you suggest some ideal projects that could help me apply for trader internships at funds next year? I only have one question. Are you actively taking and managing risk in the markets? That's the only thing they're going to care about in your interviews. If you can solve their brain teasers and other questions too, that's certainly important. But are you actively managing risk right now on your own? I mean, that's going to be first and foremost. All right, we got to fix this combat system. This combat system is not where it's at right now. Enter starts combat. Mobs aren't moving around. All right, these mobs aren't moving. Let's try to refresh the server. Yeah, not quite. Not quite. Roman, is it a good strategy to be overconfident in front of the recruiter? The recruiter is going to, in my experience, carry very little weight as to whether or not you receive the role. You know, they may be responsible internally for generating the role. You know, if you're an intern or something like that, your MD, your head, whoever your manager is going to decide whether or not they want to ultimately, whoever the hiring manager is going to decide ultimately whether or not to hire you. But they're not going to generate the return, as in like logistically generate the return. That'll be internally the recruiter. If you're talking about just like headhunters in general, it doesn't matter. Those relationships are ephemeral. Sometimes ephemeral, I should say. And they're gonna want their placement fee from you. You know, that's what they're looking for at the end of the day. I really want to get this walking animation cooking though. Do you have a preferred time frame or some other strategy biases? Yeah, I'm certainly like of the mid-frequency mindset, but I think diversifying across time frames is also important. It's a free source of diversification. Oh, look at that. That's pretty good. Getting somewhere here. Oh, now we're talking. Nice. All right. Little basic combat system here. That's huge. Pretty outstanding. All right, does this work too? Oh, nice. That's really good. Sweet. This should also work with the second client too. Enter the dungeon. Awesome, there's our boy. See if we can attack this slime as the second player here. That was a skeleton. Sweet. All right, that all works. I think we're ready to get some character selection going on the home page now. This is great. Let's see. Got cursor up and running here. All right, cool. So on the landing page, give the ability to select between 3 main classes. We're going to have our warrior, our rogue, and our mage. Those are going to be our 3 classes. We'll have a whole bunch of different abilities too. Will AI replace Roman? Dude, I hope not. I hope not. Fingers crossed. Hey, Roman Jr. in high school. What is your best advice on how to excel in and pursue this field so I can set myself up for the best career path? Love your videos, by the way. Thank you. Greatly appreciated. Let's see here. What do you want to do? What do you want to do is my question. This field, quant finance, is very, very broad. You know, what do you want to do in it? Nice. Look at this. We got a class to select now. Dude, that carrot farming comment is so true. I'm totally carrot farming right now. This is amazing. All right, warrior, rogue, mage. Let's see what we got here. This looks good. I need to add different abilities and such too, and different animations, but this is great so far. So that's our mage. See if we can get in another window a warrior to spawn in. Warrior, adventure 1. Nice. This is great. This is working. All right, let's work on the sprite sheet now. Man, these are so cool. I don't know if there's enough frames in between for it to look like reasonable though. Signal to noise ratio. Do I understand it? And if I do, can I explain it to you? I mean, you got to think of it in terms of, I like to think of it in terms of variation explained, right? So it's like, if you have information quality, right, then you're actually going to be interpreting something. There's some sort of correlation structure, some sort of causality that you're observing. And it's not going to be one-to-one in that once you see this signal, something's going to happen, but there's a relationship there where some sort of variation in an input or a set of inputs is going to correspond to some variation in an output or set of outputs. And the quality of that relationship is the signal. And as that quality increases, you're going to have a higher signal to noise ratio relative to when it decreases. That's probably the best way that I can explain it in a really cursory technical capacity. That's effectively what signal to noise is. It's like, are you actually able to isolate and understand and identify some sort of signal relationship? And then it gets into some really cool stuff, like signal redundancy improves signal quality. So like dimensionality reduction, like PCA in a linear sense, nonlinear dimensionality reduction. And it can help improve signal quality. So it's cool. That's like signal processing stuff. Pursue a quant researcher. Okay. Extensive coding experience in Python, learning math concepts here and there. If you want to go into quant research, you're definitely going to have to, master the probability and statistics sides of things there, not just the pure math, but also applied math in that sense. My thoughts on the Julia language, I'm really just a fan of Python, and it may have its pros, I'm sure, in terms of efficiency, but dude, just in terms of what's out there for Python, like it's not even close. Like Julia has to play a lot of catch up for adoption for it to be even anywhere near what's going on. Hello, Roman. How are you today? James, I'm good. Thanks for asking, man. I appreciate that. Figured I'd hop on the stream here. Still learning how streaming works, still getting it up and running, but figure I'd be carrot farming, with you guys, making this indie RPG, answering some of your quant questions. I'm trying to work on this sprite sheet right now, so I don't have this circle just walking around. So let's see if we can start to make a sprite sheet here. So I think I'm just going to give it a screenshot of this user interface and then tell it to generate a sprite sheet for a mage. See what it comes up with. Quant Guild seed round? That's funny, man. I don't know. Hey man, just join the stream. Do you play video games or just building out of interest / for learning purposes? Dude, I love games, and this is whoever said it, they called it. This is my carrot farming effectively. So, we're going to build this together and, have some fun, see if we can get this up and running on a server and then see if you guys can play test it with me. But along the way, we'll see if we can answer some quant questions, kind of running this as like a live Q&A / build, but I don't like this. This is not what I'm going for. I'm trying to get like a dude. Like the other one was cool. What is this? No. We need a better sprite sheet than this. We'll start with the mage because that's the one that I want working first. For real, shame on my professors. I learned more from Quant Builds Level 1 Math alone than I learned in my whole applied calculus course and stats course. That's awesome to hear, James. I'm stoked that you learned a ton. I'm sorry your professor sucked. Seems to be a common theme in higher education, unfortunately. Roman, what do you think about working for a small fund in my city? I don't think so. More general for math subjects, linear, algebra, how would you approach learning it from the ground up? Textbook, much task, video lectures, what else? What's most important? Self-taught. That's a good question, man. Like, I made the quant roadmap to kind of just paint you a picture of like what trajectory would look like, you know, in math, probability statistics, machine learning, coding, that sort of situation. I think that like you have to press on what is most interesting to you. So if you're really interested in like machine learning, then try to spend a lot of time there building, because I think when you learn from necessity, that's when you can understand and acquire knowledge much faster. That's, you know, that's been my experience at least. And then you're gonna have to outsource. Obviously, that's probably going to be the most important thing. Is you're gonna have to look outside the classroom. You know, you're not gonna find what you need there. Really, with any program you go to, you could go to Bob's school in Utah, or you could go to Harvard. You're gonna have to look elsewhere, outside the classroom, and supplement your learning. Blockchain for item transactions. That'd be pretty sweet. What is this carrot farming? Dude, it's carrot farming. We've been that's like the exit for quants is to go into carrot farming. All right, we need we still need a better sprite sheet than this. As someone who is more interested in the maths, probability, and stats, out of all quant roles, which would you suggest? Well, definitely not quant dev. Ah, now we're talking. This is looking good. No, this is probably good, actually. We might need to throw it in Canva to get a transparent background, but this looks pretty good. See what we can do here. Okay. All right. Do we need to break it up, or do we think that Cursor can handle breaking this up into its own frames? We'll try. Otherwise, we'll break it up on our own. Whoa, that's not what I meant to do. Oh man, that Gemini thing, it's in the way. See if we can magic erase this. All right, that's good enough for now. Any worries about the quant space getting too crowded? I feel like a lot of people, no, even in high school, are getting really into it. Also curious how you see junior entry-level roles evolving, especially with AI. It's a good question. I don't know how crowded it would be. Everything's hyper competitive anyway, right? Like every space, if you will, is hyper competitive. It's like if you want to do it and fulfill the role, you don't have to start at like a Citadel or a Jane Street. I think that's probably my 2 cents is like, you know, do you want to do it anyway? It's not, nothing's going to be easy. So select it because you want to do it, not because it's not hyper competitive or it is hyper competitive. As far as how AI is going to impact entry level roles, it's like you just need to be with it, right? It's like if everybody's coding with artificial intelligence, you need to be able to code with artificial intelligence. It's almost like a great equalizer in a sense too, being able to work with like cursor and such. But it remains to be seen the impact on like junior talent. I'm curious about the impact on junior talent like 5 or 10 years. Hey, Rome, your inspiration, 23, work at Wells Fargo, front office project management, want to be a quant trader. Does transition have considerable prob? I have no experience in a quant role. You're going to have to learn a lot, man. You're just going to have to learn a lot. All right, let's do this. Transparent background. This should be fine. Fine for now. All right. I'm gonna throw this. All right, where's my assets here? Sprites, characters. Okay. So I want it to move it from downloads into the correct sprites folder. So I need to copy the path. You know, I'm just gonna drag in here. Get this MIG sheet in here. We'll move it, and we'll see if we can get it to work. We're gonna move it to the correct assets folder and extract the frames for animating the MIG character when we move with WSAD. WASD. Hey, thank you for your content. Really appreciate it. Cool to find your channel after months of frustration with StatArb and crypto. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for being here. What do I think of econometrics? Econometrics is awesome, man. Econometrics is pretty cool. I think there's a lot of interesting work in like causality research. I mean, which is most of what they try to do in like a finance PhD anyway. But, you know, in a sense, it's all in a sense, all empirical research is just data mining. It's conversations that I've been having recently with folks, and we talk a lot about that. The efficacy of all research, all empirical research, is subject for discussion, right? What is it that you're actually doing? Does it work? Why does it work? Will it continue to work? That sort of situation, that sort of thing. I would be pretty impressed if this extracted the correct frames. Let's try it. No way. It's actually not doing too bad of a job. That's pretty crazy. All right. Clearly it's not doing super great here. Let's break it up into different ones and we'll throw it in there. So, let's just start with the walking down. I think that'll be the easiest. There's our walking down. Walking forward. Walking down, walking forward. Walking left and right. We'll make those symmetric, so I'll just flip these. Do the diagonals now. Those are symmetric too, so this is walking down and to the right. Down and to the right. And then if we flip it down and to the left, then we just need up and to the left, up and to the right. Do we have those? Not really. I guess it didn't. Oh, yeah, it's right here. I don't see an angled version, though. Yeah, there's not really a good angled version of it. All right, before we do the diagonals, let's just start with these guys. This guy. And this guy. Then we'll do left and right just to start. See if we get this cooking here. Up, down, left, right. Obsess over the diagonals later. All right, so we'll get this guy going. We'll get this guy going. This guy going. And then this guy going. Hey Roman, I'm in the quant world for the love of math, CSML, etc. Struggling with high-level math. Any advice on how to navigate the learning path and absorb as much information as possible? I think learning should be bred from necessity. So pick an ambitious project, and along the way, you're going to run into a whole bunch of problems, and that is going to force you to learn a lot. And that has been my favorite way to learn. The project is not necessarily going to be optimal, but that isn't really the point of the project. You'll expose yourself to a lot of topics that you really didn't know, and you'll learn a tremendous amount. All right, see if we get this animation playing here. I'm gonna label everything as walk down, walk forward, walk left and right. Still need to download the walk left. Download. Good. All right. Mage walk left. It should be everything. Simply out of curiosity, mate, and who doesn't want to join Jane Street? A lot of people don't want to join Jane Street. All right. Let's now use this instead. We're not going to work on the diagonals for now. I just want to get a basic animation going. If you really want to learn how something works, you must break it to figure out why it doesn't work. That's yeah, that's very true. That's very true. If you don't know the limits asymptotically of a structure, mathematically, statistically, it's not going to be very useful to you. Big fan, man. Thanks, dude. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being here. What are we working on? Dude, I'm carrot farming. Should probably add a skill bar too. I think that'll be necessary. See if we can restart this server. Oh man. That cooked the entire server. Trying to add the left, right, up, down. Oh man. There we go. We're back. I don't think it did as good of a job extracting the frames this time. Oh man. Oh, there we go. Look at that. We got our little dude. This is great. So we got our up, down, left, right. But it's not really playing the animation. Dang, I just got cooked. I think down is the only one that really isn't proportional to the rest of the frames. Oh, man. Let's refresh this. It's not looking good. Dude, my computer is cooking right now. The fans just kicked into overdrive. This is not good. Game of the year 2026 right here. Oh, dude, this is exploding right now. This is terrible. This is so terrible. Alright, let's fix this. That's terrible. Alright, we're gonna have to fix this. Yes, thank you. The job failed. I understand. Oh, man. Payoff when this sprite sheet actually animates is going to be pretty huge, though. Alright, not bad. See, that's the problem. It's just getting stuck in the lobby before the main dungeon here. Alright, I'm just going to revert back. Back it up. Alright, let's see if we get some skills going here. See if we can add some skills. We'll do QER maybe for the skills. QERF hotkeys. Yeah, I was thinking that too. The animation. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, the animation could be at a very high speed, iterating through the frames, so no delay, and cropping it each frame might be a pain. That's true too. So we'll rock with this for now. We'll see what we can do. So this is running still. I don't like that. It's not running on my terminal here. It's running somewhere in the background on cursor. Dude, adding a double major in math is probably the best idea that you could have had, I think. Oh, look at that. Fireball. ERF. That's huge. Look at those skills with the skill cooldown. That's awesome. This is great. So now I think what we'll do is we'll have the mouse actually dictate the direction of the attack. So we'll kind of have a line coming off of the player for where they're aiming based on their cursor. And then that'll be where the projectile or projectiles or whatever will launch. How can I prepare myself to be a quant in high school? Why do you want to be a quant, man? Why do you want to be a quant? So for the mage, we'll do like a fireball. We'll do lightning. We'll do like a freeze or something. What else? Fireball, lightning, freeze. Anyone got anything for me? What should we do besides fireball, lightning, freeze? I love math, I love economics and finance. When I discovered the world of quant finance, I just fell in love. Specifically, what do you want to do? Do you want to do research, math, trading? Wind power, I like it. Wind. Fireball is going to launch one high damage projectile. Lightning, like a stream across the screen that stays for a moment. Larger AoE. Freeze. Freezes affected characters in place. Tint them blue. And then wind pushes back those impacted in a cone region. Let's rock that. Water would be sweet too. I dig the water blast. Big fan. Thanks, dude. Glad to have you. Is some basement quant printing money for himself is just a myth? Not really, dude. Depends on what you mean by print money. I like the math side more than the computer science side of it, honestly. Yeah, dude, you're going to want to hit quant research. And if you're not comfortable taking risks, you're going to want to stay away from trading. Oh, you want to be a trader eventually? Well, are you trading now? You should be trading right now then. How's everything rocking on the stream overlay? Just say you want to get in it for the money. Dude, that's what I'm getting at here, man. It's just Quant being a shameless cash grab, or people try to make it, you know, they have a passion for math, statistics, whatever, but you know, usually not the case. Usually not the case here. Not to doubt you there, bruh, but you know, that's the idea. You're a legend, Roman. Thanks, mate. Dude, you got it, mate. Absolutely. What do I think of complex imaginary numbers? Dude, they are so complex. They are so complex. I think they're elite. I'm a quant trader at a prop desk. Came across your channel recently. Really like your content. Keep it up, man. Dude, thank you. Appreciate that a lot. Doing macro quant trading, so making fundamental trading models. That's pretty cool. That's pretty sweet. Ooh, okay. That's huge. That's huge. Look at that. Wow. Look at that. That's sick. Dude, forget GTA 6. You're right. This is huge right here. Absolutely massive. This is awesome. All right, great. Should do the same for each of the other characters. I definitely want some sort of I wonder how the freeze effect is. Let's see. Oh, dude, that's so great. It freezes them in place and then they get unfrozen. Nice. Working as intended. Freeze, fireball, lightning. Whoa, I got a drop. I guess my loot system works. That's great. Absolutely massive. What do you think about transitioning from data science to quant finance? Is it doable? Dude, totally. What in quant finance do you want to do? A lot of those skills are transferable. Data science can be an exit for quant finance too. There's not a single trader that I've met that doesn't do it for the money. And every trader I talked to said the same shit. I'm doing it because I love math. That is... it's hilarious. And largely true. Largely true. Oh man, that's funny, dude. Which college do I apply to learn the skills? Dude, you can learn these skills online on YouTube. You know, you're gonna learn if you do it right, you're gonna learn pretty much everything outside of college anyway. Yo, character 2 OP, I agree. We're gonna have to tune these skills a little bit. Let's start by adding some more skills to the other classes first, and then we'll kind of backtrack here. So now we'll work on the rogue. So let's see what we got. Warrior, rogue, and mage. I want to add subclasses to each of these so you can kind of be like, you know, a support mage or like a glass cannon mage. And then the rogue, like the warrior, we could do more of like a damage versus a tank situation. That could be pretty cool. Rogue, I think it's kind of like in between. You're not going to be a millionaire being a indie retail quant. I don't know about all that, man. I don't know. You can't really speak for everyone. If you love math, you don't get into quant or finance. You do fucking math because you love it or become a professor. I don't know, dude. You can end up being a quant and then you could leave to start YouTube. Slow down the animation, zoom in more, make the FOV dynamic to where you aim. Yeah, I agree. We're going to have to rock with that. I want to start with the skills first, and then we're going to refine the user interface like that. Yeah, you are 100% right, though. We do have to zoom in. All right. So let's do the rogue skills. What should the rogue skills be? Why did I become a quant? Dude, I love math. It's how the cards shook out. I love math and applied it to finance. Talk about this a lot in that one video I did, My Life as a Quant. "22 years old, went to Oxford for mathematics, but had to drop out for medical reasons. Sorry to hear that. Now I'm healthy again, and I'm conflicted on whether I should go back to university or if it's too late." Bro, it's never too late. There's no timelines. Timelines, man. These timelines are arbitrary. I've met people who want, what, like a Lamborghini before 30 years old. What the hell kind of metric is that for success? It's stupid. There is no timeline. If you want to go study math at university, go study math at university. Have I played any MMOs? Yeah, dude. I played a ton of MMOs. Tons growing up. Tons even over the past few years. I think Path of Exile was the most latest, probably the latest one that I played. Yeah, I love these games. So, you know, time to farm carrots. All right, I want like a dash sort of skill. It'll be like a dash. Well, I think every character should probably have a dash. A sweep attack where the sword arcs 1/3 of the direction toward the character's aim. Yeah, I think that's good. What should we call it? Kind of like a fan of like, we'll just call it slash, I guess. Arc attack with a little bit of knockback. And then we'll do longer arc attack, less damage. Kind of like a fan of daggers, just throwing it out. Slash daggers. What else could we have? Maybe like poison or something. Like an AoE thing. That'd be kind of cool. So like kind of like a poison vial, like you throw it, lands, it like shatters and gives them like a poison effect. Similar to freeze. For damage over time. They tint green. Maybe like kind of some sort of like invisible shroud too could be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. Oh man. I have a friend who beats himself up because he's not rich at 19 and always talks about how he failed in life because it doesn't have a Lambo or a BMW at 19. Dude, it's a shame. It's a shame. Yo, what's good, dude? What up? Good to see you here. It is a shame, though, that people are beating themselves up because of Instagram, TikTok. Dude, all these timelines, it's terrible. It's a terrible thing. Like, everybody is on their own sample path, right? If you simulate, you know, geometric Brownian motion, right? You simulate 1,000 paths. Everybody's walking their own. You can't compare yourself to other people's sample paths. You have your own shocks, your own noise that you have to deal with on your own that other people don't, and that goes for everything. You're on your own paths. It really sucks to hear that, but it's really because of social media. It's really unfortunate. If you were working with the global head of quant research at a big multi-manager hedge fund, what would you be curious to know? I'm not curious to know anything. I largely don't care. Timelines be stressing me out too, man. These societal expectations. Dude, that's what I'm saying. You gotta look in yourself and deconstruct them. It's totally true. Totally true. Can't getting hit if the character not attacking too. Oh, I like that too. It's kind of just like an ambient ability as well, Dylan. That's a good idea. All right, let's see how this works. Sweet. Let's see. Oh, that's awesome. Good. That's sick. Does he depoison eventually? He does. That's huge. Nice. Go invisible. He can't see you. Wow, this works really good. I wonder if the AoE for the poison... Is it where my mouse is? Yeah, it's where my mouse is. So that's good. We'll tune all this stuff eventually, but for now, this is pretty sufficient. to get something cooking like this. This is great. Because we're getting all of the effects too going as well. All right, that's pretty good. Let's do the warriors now. The warrior stuff. What should it be for the warrior? Yeah, there is a scar in the background. That's right. What should I do at 17 to prepare myself to be a quant? Bro, math. As much math as humanly possible. And if you don't want to do math, then you're probably not going to want to be a quant. I really don't know what else to tell you. All right, I think what would be some pretty cool skills for the warrior is like some sort of like jump and land and like kind of like an AoE knockback thing. Let's get some skills going here. Let's start with like start with just like a heavy slash. So it's going to be like a hit and a stun. They turn yellow. They tint yellow. Mid-range, arc in front, hit and stun. So heavy slash. What's another good skill for a warrior? I guess fortify could be pretty cool. Reduce damage by 75% and attract all mobs. That'd be pretty sweet. I think like rallying skills would be really cool too. Yeah, we're gonna vibe quant on Thursday, man. We're gonna do some, I don't know, either like a poker bot or maybe some strategies. I got different ideas for different sleeves, the different strategies we could do. Bow and arrow might be more of like a rogue thing. Maybe you could add a ranger as well. Shield bash. Yeah, shield bash is good. Charge and rage I like as well. Charging attack for warrior. Like, well, yeah, no, that's good. That's good actually. I kind of like that. Let's do charge. Sprint in line for, call it like 5 squares, and knock back and stun for 3 seconds, something like that. It's another good one. How important are days off from studying and math and trading for your mental health? Dude, they're huge. People don't take care of themselves. They want to like, I don't know, prioritize the goal more than anything else, and they don't consider the amorphous arbitrary expectation function, you know, that's generated based on their policy function, which is going to decide their actions and their optimal actions. And what I'm really trying to say there is like, there's math, and the fact that there's math there to support that burnout is real means that you need to take care of yourself. And if you don't, then dude, you're gonna have a hard time. It's a marathon, not a sprint, that's for sure. So days off from studying, very important. Even if you love it. Can I LARP quant and get hired at a firm? Maybe. I'm so efficient with my work. Thanks. I like the slam attack. Yeah, that's what I was going for. That's a good idea. Slam. Launch to. So it's going to be a jump to wherever the cursor is. And stun and knock back all enemies. That'll do it. That's great. Slam attack's a good idea. Yeah, parry is a good idea too. Parry is a good idea. Yeah, Hearthstone's a great game. I played a ton of Hearthstone back in the day. Warrior class might be OP. What kind of music do I listen to? I actually put out my my Spotify Wrapped on a old Quant Guild newsletter. A lot of Cage the Elephant, shamelessly some Sabrina Carpenter and Taylor Swift on there, maybe some Madison Beer. Anything to get those 3-4 a.m. coding sessions done, you know? What programming languages do I know? Well, thanks to Cursor, I know all of them now, you know? Warrior class, let's rock it. All right, let's see this slam. That's pretty cool. I think we're going to have to fix the camera in place for it, but let's see if Fortify works. Oh, that's huge, man. Nice. Charge works great. Oh, I'm stunned after charge. That was not the goal. Okay, we're going to have to fix that. That's pretty sweet. Okay. We are staying stunned after charge. We're going to have to fix that. I think we also need to make more like, you know, right click, left click basic attacks. Those are more like skill attacks, but we'll kind of work those out as we go along here. Yeah, I'm holding a lot of risk in the markets right now. It's a pretty boring day with Memorial Day here. Very important day. But markets are closed. Can't rock anything today. Make it multiplayer. Yeah, dude, it's gonna be. It's gonna be. That's what we're working towards here. So like if you take a look, right, this is gonna be one client, and then I have the server. It can facilitate more than one client. So if you go in here, boom, go in here as a rogue. Check it out. We got both guys. So, yeah, we'll make it. I'll open it up as soon as we can. We just got to get some of the foundations more here. And we'll be off to the races. My favorite Sabrina Carpenter song? Dude, that's tough, man. That's tough. I think Espresso is the most played. Yeah, what a concept to stun your own character. That's rough. All right, let's see if this works now. Yeah, we're good. We're good. That ended up fixing it. Huge. This is actually pretty fun. All right. Yeah, this will be cool to open it up to you guys. You can hop in with me. This is great. Okay. I kind of want to make this more of like a dungeon endless. I was thinking like generate a dungeon and make it like more of an MMO, but I'm starting to think of it as more of a I'm starting to think of it as more of a like survival game. Kind of like more of a MOBA situation. Later, dude. Thanks for hanging out. Are we still getting stuck? After the charge? It could be cool to make it a battle royale. That's true. Yeah, after the charge, it looks like we're getting stuck here. Do I ever get tired of quant finance? Not really, man. I mean, it's pretty cool. I think that's going to fix it. Yeah, materials would be really cool to add, like, buildables and such. Oh, nice. Okay, good. It looks like charge is working now. Yeah, that's good. That's huge. Sweet. That's pretty sick. All right, I'm glad the basic like skill system works. All right, cool. Favorite Supercell game? Dude, I think I played Clash Royale. I didn't like it all that much. Clash of Clans is just a classic, but Brawl Stars, I think it is. That one was dude, I played so much Brawl Stars. That game was a lot of fun. All right, we got to add like a basic inventory system for loot. Basic like profile viewing too. So let's start by adding a basic profile viewing situation. So what we're going to do now is like in classic RPGs or MMORPGs, dude, I was Max Town Hall. I was. Boom Beach was really fun too, actually. No, I do remember Boom Beach. But we're going to add like a basic like character viewing system. So I click on my character. It's going to pop open the panel with like name, class, stats, gear, that sort of situation there. Do I read a lot of books? I certainly read a lot, but not just like math textbooks. A lot of philosophy, a lot of psychology. Oh, thanks, man. You like those sunglasses? Those are Persols. Tortoiseshell Persols. Those are there's some good ones there. No, I haven't played Growtopia. Getting stuck connecting to this lobby here still. Beginner math book. I mean, for what topic? It's a big there's a lot of math topics you could pick from. All right, how we looking here? Still stuck connecting to the lobby. For addition, it's a pretty important foundation there. Calculus and statistics. Honestly, you're better off focusing on statistics. I don't think you should focus explicitly on calculus if you're going to read on your own. That's a good calculus textbook. That's true. That's a classic. But I think reading like an econometrics book or something like that is very, very useful. Click a player or P for your profile. Ah, okay. Look at that. Whoop. I'm seeing it. There we go. Not bad. Basic skill tree here. See if we get a basic skill tree cooking. Iron buckler. We have the same inventory. That's weird. All right, let's add a skill tree system, like a basic skill tree, maybe with like 3 subclasses. I wonder what it'll come up with if we tell it to do that on its own. All right. Let's actually build this out now a little more aggressively. So the warrior is going to have subclasses for like defender, which is more of like a support role. I don't know what to call the other ones. Rogue, mage, we will do. I think for a glass cannon rogue build, we could call it like an assassin. What are some other things? Maybe like a ranger. And then what's more support? What's the potion thing? Like apothecary. Maybe more support like healing. That's cool for the 3 subclasses, I think. Thief, medic, yeah. Medic would be... Medic, a little more broader for support character for the rogue. Gandalf. What would the damage dealer be for mage? I guess like for support it would be, we're really kind of just going like close quarters, ranged, and then support. So like defender for the warrior would be support. I'm building a real game. Yeah, dude, I'm carrot farming right now. Battle mage? Yeah, that's cool as hell. I'll do that. How to break the doom scrolling addiction? Dude, that's a really hard one. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you. That's like a really big problem. I'm carrot farming. That's what I'm building right now. I'm building an indie RPG game. Yeah. Battle mage, maybe cleric. I don't know. That seems kind of lame, but healing AoE, support, etc. Necromancer would be so cool, man. I want to add more classes, but we got to start with this. Battle mage. This will be like fireball, freeze, lightning bolt, wind. What's the meaning of carrot farming? Oh, paladin would be sick too, dude. Oh, that's actually. Oh man, that's probably better than defender. All right, we'll do. I know I want more classes eventually, but we'll rock it as a subclass for warrior right now. Fortify, rally cries, healing, stuff like that. Yeah, barbarian's a good idea. Maybe guardian, which is kind of like a hybrid. Battle mage, what's a good hybrid? Maybe like sorcerer. We'll do unique skills in each of the hybrids. So you can select your subclass in the lobby, and that will dictate the skills. What is your opinion of making a video about modeling workflow from initial idea to backtesting? I think it would be a great topic to delve into to cover common mistakes and pitfalls. Yeah, it could be good. Was thinking about doing something live like that on Thursday. I kind of want to do a bot for poker, maybe coding like a bot to automatically play poker, and look at the idea of accumulating positive EV over time. That could be a lot of fun. And then yeah, I've had that idea too, where we're going to like start from scratch, come up with and really just engineer a portfolio. So like different sleeves. If you could come up with that engineered portfolio that has structural diversification. I mean, we're talking about like products actually holding convexity. Then, you know, that's really how it works. That's really how it works in practice. A video with initial research to live trading. Nah, dude, you don't want me to teach you to trade, man. I'm gonna lose all your money. Roman, can you teach us how to duplicate our money with 100% no risk? Yeah, totally, dude. Just bet it all on black. 100%. 50% of the time, it works all the time. So this is pretty huge. We got our skill registry going on here. We're getting our subclasses going. I think the graphics are I mean, it's a lot better than it used to be, right? For indie games, if you want to just generate assets with like Gemini, it's a lot better than it was. But it's still going to be a pain. The landing page that it generated is pretty sweet though. It's pretty cool. This is good. Making all these skills. Would I ever go back to work for a quant firm? No, absolutely not. I think I'm on auto right now, or I guess it's running Composer. I usually have it on auto, but I've spent a lot of money. A lot of money. Why not what? All right, cool. These are our subclasses. We got Whirlwind, Heavy Slash, Charge, Slam, Shield Bash, Charge, Sentinel, Bulwark. All right, good. We got a whole bunch of skills here for each subclass. This is pretty sweet. Oh, that's awesome. So now I'm curious, if we click on another guy, we should see their subclass. Yeah, there we go. We see their subclass as well. That's great. That's really good. Have you guys ever worked for a quant firm? No, not everyone has a price. That is absolutely not true. That is totally not true. I don't know if you guys know what that actually looks like. I mean, what is this? I see 3 people asking that question. Have any of y'all worked at a quant firm before? That's going to be my question to you. And if you have, then you should know. And no, not everybody has a price. There's no sum of money you could get me to go back there. Absolutely not. This is great. This looks good. All right, nice. We need basic attacks now. We need basic attacks with left and right click for each class. Have a slow and have a fast and it's like a quick attack and a slow attack, like a light and heavy attack for each. This is getting good now. Asking for perspective. Hear your opinion. Well, for 100 million. No, not for 100 million or $1 million a year. Why don't you try to system design everything first before coding? I don't know, man. This is kind of more fun. Make sure others don't leave for the reason that you left. Whatever it was, assuming stress and errors. It was never the goal. It was never the goal, guys. You know, it was just like math, probability, statistics. Why else would I spend hundreds of hours in front of this camera for you guys making YouTube videos? I just like math, probability, statistics, finance, and, you know, there's no reason to, I mean, we see this just scaling, getting out of control here. I see 1 million yearly salary, 100 million. At some point, like, it's just a number. It's not actually going to do anything for you, right? Like assets under management, like assets under management exceeding like what, 500 mil or a bill. Like, I mean, come on. It's just at some point you got to go do the thing every day. And what is that thing going to be? No, not 90K for unlimited PTO. Absolutely not. I'm just trying to farm carrots now, man. That's really what I'm trying to do here. Yeah, that's about right. All right, now we got basic attacks, I think. Server down on the back end. Let's run it here. Cool. Good. Nice. Huge. All right, let's see if it works for the rogue. Good. Nice. That's pretty cool, actually. Nice. All right, good. iPhone. 100% iPhone. Yeah, we'll have to use Gemini to design our sprite characters. One of my friends said that working at a quant firm is highly stressful and they make you work like a dog. Is that true? Nah, dude. They just pay you like, you know, 300 grand to vibe. Hey, what's going on? All right, what's our next step here? We got our basic class system going. Sorcerer, Cleric, Battle Mage. I forgot we still have our sprite here. It's pretty good. Maybe bringing it to life a little bit more. Adding some more sprites for the other characters. Adding animations to the actual attacks too. Probably very useful. Yeah, level skills and XP I think would be huge. I'm trying to figure out what this oh man, that's great. This is working really good with the fast attacks for the mage. Yeah, man, money's a tough animal. Oh, that's interesting. Skills are disabled after cleared. All right. I'm putting off the whole sprite creation thing because that's just really, really boring. But it does make it so much cooler, the game. That's for sure. Power-ups could be useful. Making the game smoother, yeah, 100%. A trading market would be sick. Experience levels, upgrades, definitely. Quests would be super sick. Yeah, all those things, very, very important. What would be the lowest hanging fruit right now? I don't think tuning or refining the skills is the lowest hanging fruit. Maybe adding progression, like a wave system, to the dungeon. So, like, you get into the dungeon, and then once you clear it, right, it's kind of like this is phase 1, if you will. And then after phase 1, you move to phase 2. That sort of situation. I was thinking about doing like a story mode thing with a 2D side scroller. I feel like that would be really cool. Could also argue at one point the imaginary 100 mil could help others. Yeah, your life won't change. But let's say you buy houses for 500 homeless people. Why don't you do that? Unrelated question. Do you recommend historical data provider for options data? What kind of data? Game theory useful in quant jobs? Yeah, I mean, you got to know economics, man. Dropping loot from mobs in inventory would be... Yeah, that is pretty huge. I want to add this wave system. Let's start with the wave system. So after each completed wave, it's going to roll into like a ready up system. So like 60 seconds before the next wave starts. And then you can ready up with your party and just start the next wave. But maybe like in between waves, there's like a shop or something and you can go to it and upgrade skills or whatever. That could be pretty neat. Yeah, music and sound effects. I didn't even think about that. That's true. So in between each wave, we'll have a 60-second timer and a ready up to skip and move on. Each wave spawns X amount of mobs, scaling in difficulty. Starting to become very hard around wave 30 and almost impossible around 50. We'll have to tune the scaling dynamics too, but I'm kind of thinking of it as more of like a wave system. There's 100% edge left in the markets, man. Markets are not almost perfectly efficient. Yeah, level up like and purchase augments in a shop for skills would be super cool. Yeah, dude. Black Ops Zombies throwback, kind of like a wave-based system. Composer, it's been good to me. It's been doing well, so we'll just keep rocking it. Math is the best degree for a quant job. Definitely math. All right. Well, today's been a big day because I figured out how to get this whole streaming overlay set up. Was not intending on streaming today, but you know what? I figured let's just mess around, start building out this indie RPG, you know, get my carrot farm going. And, you know, you got to start by starting, do by doing. So that's what we're doing here. And Thursday we'll continue with the quant stream. I think the poker build would be pretty sweet on Thursday. But otherwise, you'll see a video from me tomorrow and a video from me on Friday too. So it's been a good day. Gonna probably wrap up the stream in the next half hour or so. So if you guys have any questions, you know, throw them in the chat. Any suggestions for this indie game here that we're making, throw it in the chat, and we'll kind of pin it for next time we continue with this build. All right, so it looks like the wave system's in place. Uh-oh. Yeah, randomization, that's a good idea. I think I already got the loot system built, which is great. Let's clear this wave. Clear this wave, and then we'll see if we start the next phase here. Nice. Legendary blade dropped. Good. The loot system works. Ready up. R. Good. There's our next wave. I am doing Quant Guild and YouTube full time. That is correct. Do a day in the life vlog. I don't know how much interest there would be in that. Mobs drop keys to different rooms or different things for the interim. That could be particularly useful. That could be cool. Let's see here. Good. Wave 2 cleared. We got a bow already up. It's working pretty good. I clicked on my character profile by accident. Would you say success in the market is more about controlling risk or more about discovering the edge? It's about positioning and survival. Love it. Keep up the good work. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I think it is getting more and more difficult because we're adding a lot more enemies, but I think we need more enemy variety and such too. Yeah, on the right track though. Cool. Do I play chess? No, I don't play chess. Backtesting strategies on 0 DTE is a double-edged sword, man. You got to be careful with that. How useful is it to know R? R used to be used, I mean, extremely heavily before Python. And now it's just Python. Yeah, sound effects would make this, I think, a lot better, a lot less painful, along with, like, sprites and such. It's really just like this, man. That's how quants are adapting to AI, is just, you know, using cursor for research. It accelerates the whole coding process. It's pretty good. Made a lot of progress today with this. Can I elaborate on 0 DTEs and automated credit selling? Yeah. You're going to have a very nice equity curve, and you might even data mine a perfect equity curve in a backtest. And then you're not going to be exposed to the tail risk that would wipe you out until you experience it live. That is what I'm talking about. All right, we need more enemy variety. Yeah, I think that's good. Just need more enemy variety for each wave. Clearing this with like a team would be very useful. Nice. All right. Some cool progress on this today. We added a what is this? We added different classes, so that was a brand new thing. We started to integrate some sprite sheets. We added skills and subclasses. We added monsters and their ability to actually like attack the player, which is pretty sweet. Now we added a whole bunch of variety for bosses and scaling for each tier. There's already a loot system. I'm gonna have to continue to build that out as well. Yeah, it's really gonna be the trajectory for this guy here. Nice. All right, we got different variety now. I would say that's pretty much what they're already doing, man. They're pretty much just using cursor at this point or VS Code, and that's pretty much all that's going on. And when things actually are important in a low latency or execution sense, then that's when they're actually going to go in and write the code by hand. Otherwise, they're not going to do that. It's pretty fun. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's try those skills. Let's see how it works. So we have our... Let's go to the mage. Sorcerer, we have Arc Bolt, Frost Lance, Arcane Burst, and Mana Shield. So Mana Shield should take damage to mana, not health. So let's just try this really quick. Hit, Mana Shield. Oh, I see. It's just a shield that costs mana. That's fine. I thought it would take damage as mana, but no, it looks good. It looks like all our subclasses are functioning as intended, which is pretty sweet. Arrow, volley, pinning shot, hunter's mark. Let's try this subclass here. Oh, nice. That's great. Doesn't look like arrow is doing too much. Doesn't seem to be doing much there. But otherwise it looks good. We'll have to tune these separately though. Alright, nice. This has been pretty fun. It's been pretty fun to make. All right. Seems like a pretty good stopping point for this guy here. I'm going to close up shop in the next like 10, 15 minutes. If you guys want to throw any more questions in the chat, I'll focus on that now. What differences have you noticed when using cloud versus cursor versus others? You're not really going to notice too much of a difference here. It's just going to be whichever setup you want to focus on and kind of optimize from there. Who's been the most cracked person that you've ever met? I don't know, man. I've worked with some cool people that knew a lot of math, probability, statistics in a research capacity. I don't know if there's just one person that shines above everyone else. Why do you think physics and finance are so correlated? Physics is applied math, and it's not that they're correlated, it's that you're applying math to finance. Just stick with math? Yeah, just stick with math. Jim Simmons hiring physicists. Yeah. Yeah. It's applied math, man. But I've been thinking about doing end-to-end stuff. Like, I'll show you something that I've been working on. Like the strategy space. I think you guys can see this. So here's like a, let's see. So here's a good example of what it looks like to have like structural diversification. You have a whole bunch of different sleeves in a portfolio, right? So it's like you have things that are generally structurally uncorrelated, not just like some sort of beta neutral exposure that you're targeting, but you actually have structural, like there's structurally no correlation. And during times of distress, you don't worry about the correlation structure breaking down. So you can actually use leverage in these different sleeves in different ways. And, you know, you achieve some very interesting performance. Do you think it's possible for a solo trader from home to make money from the markets? Yes, absolutely do. Absolutely do. But this is something that we could walk through in greater detail if there's interest in another stream. Maybe we do something like this from scratch together. Like I said, really just getting into the whole streaming thing. So, you know, win today, getting everything set up with the overlay, doing some Q&A with you guys, and just kind of getting my sea legs in the streaming scene. What do I think about day traders who use systems like ICT or SMC? I think it's a shame. I think it's a shame. They got to learn some math, probability, statistics. Is this something you guys would like to see in greater detail? Stuff like this, portfolio engineering on like a live stream? Maybe not. I'll just go back to carrot farming. Appreciate that, man. All right, I'm glad to see you guys would be interested. You guys got any questions before I wrap up here? Any questions about quant, portfolio, anything for me? Well, of course, I would say quantguild.com because that's why it's there. My YouTube videos. I would learn purely those subjects first and then apply them. Yep. That's what I would recommend. Check out the Quant Roadmap. Yeah, if you guys want to start some daycares in Minnesota, let me know. I would totally be down. Seems like that's extremely positive EV. I would not combine ICT and quantitative investing personally. Would not be, I would not consider that positive EV. Astrology strategies, that's a tough one, man, because a lot of what causality is about decoupling, right? Spurious correlation from causality. And without a counterfactual, it's a very difficult problem. So, can you prove that it doesn't? Actually ends up being a pretty difficult question. Ends up being a pretty difficult question to answer. What do I think about moon phase strategies? I mean, dude, it's tough. It's tough because like I said, in a pure research sense, how do you decouple the spurious correlation without a counterfactual? Yeah, you have statistical tests, but I mean, the efficacy of which can always be debated. So, difficult question to answer. It's why technical analysis can't be outright disproven. It's the same like academic, philosophical, structural reason why Bigfoot can't be disproven, right? It's the exact same mechanism statistically. Would you be open to having affiliates or clippers for social media for your Quant Guild site? I don't really know what that means. I'm always open to anything. You guys can shoot me an email at my email. Do I think it's possible to work as a solo quant trader? What does that even mean? What does that even mean? Hey Roman, I just ran across your channel yesterday, but I've been building my solo quant system for about 6 years now. Do you have content planned for us quants that are deep in our own systems? Content like what? Content like what? Possible, but super hard, but 100% possible. Like, when you say solo quant trader, are you talking about like how much capital are you talking about? Like that's really what I'm getting at here. What kind of strategies? What's your target return? What's your target risk profile? Like, I don't know. We're not actually having a discussion. It kind of just seems like a blanket statement of like, is this possible? Yes or no. It's not really a discussion. That could be not really a productive discussion. Assuming you bring together the best quants and traders in the world and let them invest together for 10 years, would you expect they will make money in the market? If not, why? What does the best mean? I don't even know. What kind of technology do they have access to? What is their business function? I mean, come on. That's an interesting idea there. Promote Quant Guild through an affiliate link for some percentage of P&L. That's very interesting. Solo quant, I mean like developing own strategies, models, going live with them. Yeah, why not? Totally can. I missed the stream. Curious though, do you worry about simulating liquidity during backtests, or do you typically target big enough liquidity pools? It is irrelevant. Depends on the size of capital that you're working with and what products, for sure. If we're buying an IPO, do we have positive EV? What IPO are you buying? It's in an unconditional sense, right? Like just buying an IPO, whether or not that's positive EV, it does not mean that when you condition on that particular event, it's going to be positive EV. This is something that we've talked about, right? Time average is not equal to the ensemble average. So just because one trade has positive EV or a series of trades unconditionally has positive EV, it doesn't mean another one will. The stability and persistence of that edge, why is it there? Why is there an inefficiency? What are you trading, right? SpaceX IPO word. How long did it take you to make this equity curve you're showing? Also, is it all out of sample data? Yeah, it's negative EV. Don't trade this. What percentage of quant researchers' work is creating machine learning models to predict stock prices? It doesn't quite work like that. It doesn't quite work like that. This is the second stream, man. Yeah, this is really a smoke test for me. So I was not intending on streaming today at all. I just really wanted to figure out if I could get this overlay thing working with like the chat, with the donations. I really don't even know if the donations things work. If you guys know how that stuff works and if it's active right now, could you let me know in the chat? Like I really don't know if it's up. Yeah, just let me know, because I want to make sure that this thing is working. I think I've tested it, but I don't know if the donation link is live. So that was the idea here with the second stream, is just to kind of get a smoke test running for, later streams, continue to get into it on the quant side. This is more of just like a spur of the moment Q&A, build a mini game, and get a chance to talk to you guys. Yeah, it would be a win-win for sure. Definitely would be a win-win. How long would it take me to speedrun Quant Builds if I start tonight? I need a distraction for my exams, LMAO. I mean, dude, it could take you a long time. I've had math majors tell me it would take them months to get through to Quant 5 on all of the rank wheels on Quant Guild. So it would take you quite some time to get through it. For those in chat, my system manages 250, 20% month over month. I'd consider myself a profitable solo quant. Dude, that's electric. That's amazing. Congratulations. I think once you get the layout in your OBS, alerts will be working. You'll be golden. Yeah, I got OBS running. I think everything's good. I got the overlay. I can show and hide it. But is it active? Not really asking for a donation here. I just want to make sure that everything's running as intended. I think the link is active, if I'm not mistaken. 20% month over month. I mean, I don't hear anything about strategy class, product, so on and so forth. Like, you should be able to, at some point, ask the right questions to make sure that you're talking to somebody that you're understanding what's going on in a particular strategy. Dude, discretionary trading is definitely possible to become a profitable trader. Favorite math subjects? Stochastic calculus, easy. All right. I'm going to wrap it up in the next 2 minutes here. So, any last minute questions? I hope you enjoyed the stream. Like I said, wasn't really intending on streaming today. Just wanted to get everything up and running. Thursdays, I think, is going to be the day to stream. We're going to do Quant Builds. We're going to do stuff like that. Oh, you're the man, dude. Sick. We're up and running. We're up and running. John, you're the GOAT. Thank you. Up and running. Outstanding. Outstanding. Let's all just run a Ponzi scheme. Love it. Warm greetings from Italy. If you come to Italy, invited. Ah, thanks. Very nice. Very nice. That all being said, you know, if you guys like the streaming format, I don't really know how all this all works. I got the donation set up, John. You're the man. Thank you so much. If there are like likes, you know, comments, I don't really know what the engagement metrics are for these yet, but you know, give me a like, drop some comments, let me know if you like the stream there, and we'll keep going with it. Like I said, Thursday is going to be the dedicated streaming days for Quant Builds. The list goes on. So, you know, drop comments in YouTube videos for, you know, topics you'd like to see in the future. Other than that, you know, thanks for hanging out today, guys. Thanks for helping me get everything set up. I had a good time building this little this little indie RPG game with you guys. Maybe we'll work on it again in the future. But other than that, you know, it's been great. I'll see you guys next time.